Hi, so I've recently been looking at bladeless little multi-tool pocket keychain multi-tools that can be dead useful for times and places where blades are not allowed, like air travel, you know, going into schools, museums, concert venues, stuff like that. I like to still have a little tool on me when I'm not allowed to carry a Swiss Army knife or something. So there's some pretty good options out there. I've already done another video looking at these. I've just received this one, the Orbitkey Multitool V2, and I think this might be the best one of the bunch. I paid about a tenner for this one from Amazon UK. I assume it's about $10 in the USA or $10 in Australia, I would have assumed, where this is designed. It is 67.4 millimeters long, or 2.65 inches, 0.07 inches thick, or 1.9 millimeters thick. So very similar size to a standard kind of house key. And it weighs 12.4 grams, or 0.4 ounces. So some of these other little multi-tools I looked at have some really good features. The things, some of these designs are really just wacky and over the top, with bicycle spoke wrenches, multiple various, great big chunk of metal. I want something small and discreet, isn't going to scream, "I'm carrying a multi-tool, please confiscate me." And so I prefer the more simple, discreet ones. Some of these are good options. Gerber mullet, night eyes, doohickey plus, this generic Chinese titanium alloy one. The Key Smart multi-tool I quite like. But yeah, this one, since having this one is the one I've been carrying, and this one is the best design of all of them for my simple needs. I've got a nice, decent size, not too big, not too small, slotted screwdriver on this end. This is angled and can be used for scoring tape, general prodding and poking. It's a good size, it's a good shape. This is your kind of Prybar bit as well, although you can use this end. This does seem somewhat thin, but for anything light duty, what, poking, prodding, scraping, prizing a paint tin lid off, this would be just fine. Again, you could use this corner if you wanted to as well. You've got a decent bottle opener on there, that works quite well. I've drunk all my beers, so I can't show you, but that works okay as a bottle opener. You've got a small metric ruler on that side, a small imperial ruler on that side. These can be useful. I found these quite useful if I'm out doing a bit of shopping and I need to buy some screws or nuts or little tiny things like that, and I'm not quite sure of the measurement, so yeah, they can be useful. Might as well have it on there, haven't you? That's good. Also got what they call a coarse file on here. It's not very coarse and it's not very filey. It does kind of just take the edge off your nails, stuff like that, if you need it to. Again, I'd rather have that on there than just nothing at all be in that space. And on the other end, you get a very decent and nicely cut, if a little bit small, little Phillips screwdriver on there. And a lot of these Prybars that I have been looking at don't have a dedicated Phillips screwdriver. You can use the corner on this for turning screws, but Phillips screws are by far the most common screws I come across. So really important for me to have a Phillips driver on my little pocket tool. And this one's got one, and it's a decent one. Because of the shape of the tool, you can get some good purchase on there for turning screws. Works quite well within its limits. Also, the shape of this keyring hole is good. On some tools, you've just got a round hole, which is fine, a normal keyring hole. Because this is a slot, once it's designed to go on the Orbitkey, this isn't one, but it's designed to go on the Orbitkey key organizer. So when it's in there, because it's a slot, the tool can slide up and out there and be used while it's still attached to your key organizer, which is a nice touch. So this is how I've been carrying it for the last couple of days. 2 house keys on there, and this just swings out for when I've needed it, for any screwdriver in, cutting, bottle opener in, you know, it's on there. Because it's got the little notch in its keyring hole as well, to use the Phillips head, you can just push it up, slide it up. So that's great. You can use it still attached to the key organizer and use it for doing any Phillips screwdriver in, tiny little quick fixes on the go. Good. So it works pretty well attached as it should be on a key organizer, and because it's nice and flat, it does work well on your key organizer there, versus something like this, which is a lot fatter, wouldn't work as well, versus something like the Gerber mullet, which just wouldn't work at all in your key organizer. It's thin, it's flat, slides in there, works really well as a keychain item. This one also has like a sharpened piece here. It's not ever so sharp. So I haven't as yet cut my finger or anything, reaching into my pocket to take this out, but this will cut. Packing tape, it will cut through paracord. Bit of an effort, not as good as a knife, but this will be useful for cutting stuff. Plastic tags out of clothing, those things that hold, you know, kids' toys onto their boxes, stuff like that. That's the other thing that this tool does better than any of the other tools I've got that have got a small cutting section on. This serrated bit here doesn't work very well on the night eyes. I wish that had just been a straight piece. This bit on the Key Smart is much more difficult to use to cut a bit of paracord. It won't do it, basically. This V-notch here can be used to cut really, really narrow diameter tag label ties, things like that. But yeah, this works pretty well in a pinch. So you've still got some cutting capability, and if this is kind of hidden on your keys there, you're not allowed to take a knife blade in somewhere if that wouldn't be appropriate. That's just a bottle opener, mate. But yeah, you've still got a way to cut to some extent with that piece on there. You dangle off your keys like that. It's nice and thin, nice and unobtrusive, but you've got something, a little chunk of metal for prodding, scraping, prying, tiny bit of limited cutting, opening bottles, screwdriver in. It's a great tool. Certainly, in my opinion, the best one out of these other ones I've been looking at recently. Yeah, I really like this one. Orbitkey Multitool version 2. Very good for if you're out and about, aren't allowed to carry a knife blade with you, but still want something on you that can be useful and help you out for little small day-to-day tasks. Great stuff. Thank you very much for watching as ever, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take it easy, be lucky!